Hi, welcome to another video from me, Patina and Pedal. Interested in refurbishing and restoring classic cycles. Here we're looking at something that I recently picked up a couple of days ago, and £40 from a local farmer. Been in his barn for quite a long time and needs a lot of restoration. You'll see from the badge here it's a BSA. There was a stamp on the frame just underneath the saddle, and I managed to find out that the bike is actually between 1937 and 1939, and it's, as I say, a BSA. Ladies Roadster by the frame, single speed in this green. Now when we bought it, it was covered in dust and crud, and you know what farmers are like. It's a busy environment and it's quite dusty. Here you can see you've got some black showing through. Now originally I thought that it could be black paint, but I think it could be an undercoat actually, because there's some detailing that I'll show you a little bit later on the green paint. See these pull rod brake system here. So you've got the two rods going down from the handlebars to the brake. Some lovely features there. So that's the front pull rod brake. Tried to bring back some of the chrome here. You can see that I used the quadruple zero wire wool, which is really soft. You can bring back chrome with that, and it's okay, but it's not perfect, but it never will be. I think that when you own these bikes, you know that you're running around in something that's really old, and I think that a lot of the patina and the rust, and as long as it's neutralized, I think that's part of the charm of old cycling. I know when I go out on my other bike, my Dutch Ommerfiets, people are always talking about it and explain it's old and talk to them about the date. So yeah, focusing back in again on these design features here. Lovely end of the forks, and you've got this arrangement from the back brake, which obviously travels down the frame. Solid rods, and then you've got the caliper at the back. Interestingly, with the pull rod brakes, they don't work on the outside of the hub. They actually work on the inside. You'll see that the hub's kind of, the wheel is the shape of the wheel frame is actually like a V shape, an inverted V that gets the brake pulled against it. Look at that. Quite a nice looking bike. Small actually, 24-inch wheels, so it's not a full-sized bike, or it's a bike for a lady or someone shorter. It's got a fixed single speed hub, and when I mean fixed hub, I mean that you literally can't pedal it backwards or freewheel. The pedals move with the wheels as it's going forward. There's no back pedaling, no coaster brakes, nothing like that. So you're either pedaling and moving the bike, or the bike isn't moving. You're not freewheeling. That could be a problem for someone that might want to ride this all the time and use them in the modern world, but it's probably the way it was built back in the day. And some of the 1930s bikes I was reading did have that arrangement of a fixed rear hub. And then I think that you have to question, don't you, whether you want to keep the originality of the bike, or you want to maybe make some slight changes to make it usable in the everyday world. So but there's quite a lot of restoration that needs to be done. Obviously try and keep the original paint and original everything as much as possible. I've got some Renaissance wax that I've put on some of it, just a small area, just to see how it works. It's strange because when you kind of wash the paint, it comes up like a really nice dark British racing green, almost glossy, and then as soon as that dries, it's back to being chalky and looking washed out. So I think that I do need to revitalize the paint and where the enamel paint. Quite thin though in some places. You see some of the black coming through. Originally, I thought the bike could have been repainted some time ago, but there's too many BSA decals that are on the green paint for it to be a repaint. And I'll show you that coming up in the next video. But all in all, lovely bike. Would suit someone not very tall. So 24-inch wheels. It's quite a short frame, which was really great. It's quite usable. A lot of the older bikes are huge, aren't they? And I know that the Dutch bikes that my wife and I run around in, these Omafeets, where we're normal sized folk, and we've got the saddles down on the minimum because they're just huge. And but of course they're 28-inch wheels, which is good for cruising and long distances. So yeah, let's move on and have a little look at the frame. So here you can see that there's some decals there. There's some lines that have been painted on top of the paint. I don't know if you can see that or not. Originally I thought the paint might have been a repaint, but that BSA decal looks too original, doesn't it? And so does the lines around it. And you'll see that throughout the bike. Here you've got these lines that were either side of the badges on the chain guard. That's obviously original, and that's on top of the green. So the black that's showing through can't be original paint. It has to be like an undercoat where the green's got too thin, or you see you've got a couple of pinstripe lines going up the frame, and even on the top you've got some decals there. So I think that green is original for this bike. I did change my mind on that several times, but also kind of looking down into bits of the frame that are sometimes not painted, you can see that's an original paint job. So yeah, interesting. I'd like to be able to bring the paint back to its former glory as much as possible. If you've got any advice on that for me, please let me know in the comments, because I would love your opinion on how I can get this paint looking its best. You're not going to get rid of some of the rust. You're just going to have to live with it or neutralize it if you're not going to do a whole new paint job. I think it would be a shame to do a new paint job on her, really, because she's if she is a 1937, that makes her 89 years old, and gone through a lot. Pre-war bikes are, pre-World War II bikes are kind of a different beast, aren't they? And I think we need to kind of look after them and preserve them as much as possible. But yeah, so all in all, hopefully you like the bike and you've got an interest in BSA. It was cheap, wasn't it? £40, and he wanted £50, and I gave him 40. And here you see got dark green there. It looks like it's underneath the washed out paint. So is it a clear coat? I don't think it is. I'm not too sure what on earth is going on there, really. So again, any advice on the paint would be really useful. So awesome. So as I say, these 1940s bikes, they're great to do up, and they're great to own, but for £40 I don't think you can really go wrong, can you? So I'm going to wrap the video up there. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next video, where I'm going to start to take away and take apart the push rod brakes and take apart the steering mechanism, because I'm going to look at either cleaning that chrome up or getting it re-chromed, and that will be the start of the restoration. And by the way, my mum has got her eye on this bike. She wanted this bike, and she says she loves it, and I think that when it's all done up, she's going to have a go at riding it. But yeah, we'll see if it's sort of thing she wants to own and ride. So, okay, well, thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon. And please, if you haven't done so, please can you hit that thumbs up button so I know that it's worthwhile making these videos, and the subscribe button if you don't mind, because I've only got a handful of subscribers, and a couple of those people are my friends. So it'd be nice to hear from you on the subscriptions. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.